Hi there, Haley. Great job seeing these essays from you. Great work. Let's get straight into your corrections so we can see what you've written. Okay, you've got a pie chart here. How energy is used in an average Australian household. Okay, let's see what you have to say about this. Okay. The first pie chart provided represents different categories of energy consumption by average Australian families. The second chart shows the greenhouse gas emissions produced by the same categories. Okay, it's fine. Just be careful with your typing. You wrote chart here instead of chart, so just be careful with that. According to the percentage, Australians use the most energy for heating homes and water. Okay, it's fine. However, I'm not really a huge fan of this expression here where you say according to the percentage. And it should have just been according to the figures or according to the pie chart, something like that, but not really according to the percentage. Okay? Heating residences, residences and water account for 72% of total energy consumption. Separately, heating takes up 42% and water heating does 30%. All right, it's a little too analytical. Careful about so many details. You would have just been fine with the previous sentence alone. Other appliances was the third largest here, okay, because we are talking about ordering, so third largest. The percentage of which, okay, so other appliances was the third largest use, the percentage of which is 15%. Okay. Refrigeration, lighting, I think this is lighting and not lightning, and cooling each has a single-digit percent, 7, 4, and 2% respectively. Okay, great, that's fine. The data in the second pie chart are slightly different. Water heating accounts for over 1/3 of household greenhouse gas emissions, which is followed by other appliances. The percentage for heating and refrigeration are next, which account for around 15%. Now, is that 15% in total or 15% each? You should make that clear, okay? Yeah, it's 15% each, so you really want to mention that, okay? Lighting, watch this. It's not lightning. Lightning is the bolts that come from the sky when there's a thunderstorm. Okay, so lighting and cooling are insignificant contributors to greenhouse gas emissions. All right, but this is a really nice word here, a nice expression. In comparison, heating and water heating and water heating indicate different proportions. Even though more energy was used for heating, it emits only about half of greenhouse gas that water heating is responsible for. Okay, it's very nice. I like this quite a bit. There were obviously a few errors that I had to correct. There was one other thing I wanted to mention. What was it? I think I mentioned it. Okay. But it's a well done job overall. Now I remembered what the other thing I wanted to mention was. Careful with your tenses. Okay. Now, this is something that we call a static pie chart. So it doesn't really refer to when this happens. So what I want you to do here is I want you to be consistent with your tenses. Okay, so what do I mean? I mean, here you have was, and then you say has, and then, what is it? It is, and then somewhere else you again have past tense. Here it is. Yeah, was used. So really be careful with this. It's really important for your tenses to be consistent. That's my one big comment here. Other than that, it was really nicely done. You had a lot of really nice vocabulary. There were a couple of places where you had a little too many details for my liking, but on the whole, it was a nice job. Okay, so great job with this. Okay, and now we go to your task 2. This is actually one of my favorite task 2s from these books. Okay, so let's take a look at this. One of the most important parents' duties is to raise honest, law-abiding members of society. They probably have consensus that it is absolutely imperative to teach them to tell right from wrong. However, they may have different approach to do the job. Some use punishment, others seek alternative ways. It is my firm stance that children should not be subjects of punishment because more effective methods are available. Okay, it's lovely. It's a very well-structured paragraph. Really, it's exactly how an introduction should be. There's one problem, and that's some of the grammar. Okay? If you're losing points somewhere, that's where it is, because one of the most important, I would have said here, parental duties. You've got a very nice adjective that would fit here perfectly. Honest, law-abiding members of society, very nice vocabulary here. They probably have a consensus. It's not wrong. It's not probably the most natural expression. I mean, you could have said instead, there is a general consensus. All right, that's probably a more natural expression. That it is absolutely imperative to teach them. Now, here you have to be careful. Who is teaching who? I mean, whom? Because, I mean, here obviously you're talking about parents, but then who is this? I mean, are you referring to children? That might seem obvious, but you haven't mentioned children anywhere yet. So, my guess here with members, but do make it clear, okay? They may have different approaches or a different approach. Another grammatical problem here. Other alternative ways. Okay, fine. So essentially, I mean, in these sentences, there was pretty much an error in almost every one. So do be careful with that. Okay. Obviously, punishment has been the conventional way to discipline children, especially when they are taught moral values. It was, and still is in some cultures, common to spank young ones when parents think, when parents think their children did something wrong. A number of those parents might swear by it, claiming that their children never did it again. However, those children who experienced corporal punishment refrained themselves from making the same mistake, not because they understood the difference between right and wrong, but because they became scared of the consequence. Similarly, verbal or psychological punishment, such as a remark that expresses disappointment or resentment, equally fears young children. No, that's not the right word here. Equally scares or equally frightens young children. Okay? It should be used rarely, if ever. All right, lovely. I mean, it's a really nice paragraph. Used really nice vocabulary. The grammar was, for the most part, accurate and lovely and natural, so good job with that. Okay, they were just one or two little things that I mentioned. Okay. Instead of punishment, parents and teachers should employ positive reinforcement to teach children desirable behavior. Simply put, children are rewarded when they exhibit good behavior. Although it might not seem to work as quickly as punishment, it is more appropriate. That is because children can motivate themselves to behave through verbal or tangible encouragement. Okay, not sure what you mean here by tangible encouragement. For example, a school bully can be praised by his teacher and peers when he helps a classmate rather than picks on him. Okay, he will feel more accepted, which will lead him to generate similar behavior for himself without being feared into it, feared into it. In other words, the behavior. Okay, in conclusion, no one argues against the importance of learning the distinction between right and wrong, even at a young age. However, it is debatable whether or not punishment should be sued. Okay, I don't know what you mean by this. Have a lawsuit against punishment? That's not really an issue anywhere in that essay, so I think you mean something else here. In my opinion, it is unnecessary to use punishment since positive reinforcement is a better choice by which to, here, educate children. Okay, so really, really lovely. These were really high-level essays, clearly. There are some little errors with your grammar, so those are the things I really want you to be aware of and watch out for. All right, so nice job with these, Haley. I really hope to see more essays from you. I think that you will certainly improve with more feedback from your essays. So, good luck writing, and I hope to see more of these from you.